Hi. Are you feeling anxious, unsettled, having trouble getting to sleep maybe? A couple of those things might be happening for you these days. If so, and if you'd like to do something that would help ease that perhaps, then this body mind awareness class is for you. Grab yourself a yoga mat or a blanket. If you don't have a mat, doesn't matter. Something that you can put on your floor, your carpet, maybe even a towel, so that you are lying on a firm surface without it being too soft. A bed is kind of too soft, even though it sounds like it might be appealing. And get yourself a glass of water. Maybe have a journal next to you, although you might want to use that at the end of the class rather than during. Totally up to you, okay? As you go through this movement sequence, I really ask you to pay attention to yourself and any movement that you need to make at any time that would make you feel more comfortable. Please do that. Do whatever you need to take care of yourself. Remember that I think you can pause this and just take it right back up where you left off if need be. All right. So, my name's Gilly, and I'm a body mind therapist. I've been working with people for the last 20 odd years, and sometimes individually and sometimes in classes. And so, this movement sequence that I'm going to guide you through today is really to connect you to yourself, to feeling the support that's there for you right now, and maybe letting go of some tension and some easing some pain. So go ahead and lay down on the mat on your back with your legs stretched out in front of you and your arms down by your sides, palms down. And start just by taking a bit of a check-in. Now start up at the top of your head and notice how your head's connecting with the floor. Remember, it's not just the back of your head that you're checking into, but also the front, your face, the sides. Just kind of maybe wiggle your mouth around, your jaw around, just kind of check in, see how it's feeling right now. And then bring your awareness down your spine, noticing how it gently curves away from the floor at your neck and then returns to the floor at your upper back and upper torso. And then probably towards your lower back as you move down your spine, you'll notice that it curves away from the floor. That's a natural curve in your spine there. And then you'll go down a little further to where your buttocks make contact with the floor. And maybe wiggle your hips a little bit, see how they're feeling right now. Yeah, and see if one feels like it's maybe a little higher up or a little further down towards your feet. And then notice your right leg and your right foot and your toes and your left leg and left foot and your toes. Then notice your right arm and your hand with your 4 fingers and your thumb, and your left arm and left hand and 4 fingers and thumb on that side. And gently roll your head from side to side. And notice as you roll your head from side to side if there's any ease on one side compared to the other. Which side feels like it just moves a little easier? Usually one side is easier than the other. And when I say gently, it's like listening to your head and neck and just going, if I was gentle, how far would my head want to move right now? And then bring that movement to a close in the middle. And bring your awareness to your breath. Just notice that your breath moves in through your nose or your mouth as you inhale, and it just moves out as you exhale. You don't actually have to do anything. Your breath kind of does it all for you. It's kind of nice to notice your breath is doing that breathing thing. If you take your hands and bring them together in front of your body, in front of your heart, in the universal prayer position, and gently rub them together, waking up your hands. And just take your hands and let them rest on your upper chest. And bring your awareness to where your hands are making contact with your upper chest. And you may notice that your rib cage is moving up as you inhale and down as you exhale. And feel the warmth of your hands meeting the warmth of your body. And breathe into that place of contact. So you're breathing into your hands, inviting your breath to come into that upper breathing space. All right, then let your hands come all the way down, back down by your sides. And send your awareness to your right knee. Send your right knee up towards the heavens and plant your right foot on the earth. And then send your awareness to your left knee and float your left knee up to the heavens and plant your left foot on the earth. And take a moment to just let your feet play a little bit. Okay, let them wiggle your toes. You might rock up on your toes and up on your heels. You might move your feet closer to your buttocks or further apart. Kind of let them move around a bit until you find that place where they go, oh yeah, that's supporting my back. Because your feet, funnily enough, even when you're lying on your back, support your whole body. Okay, that's your foundation. Your feet are your foundation. And check in right now with yourself and notice where you feel the support in your body, in yourself. Is it in your feet or your buttocks or your back or your head, your arms, or somewhere else? Where do you notice the support that's there? And when I'm teaching a class, I'll ask people to share out loud what they're aware of. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is so that people can hear other options, like, oh, I never even thought that could be support, or I would feel support there, or it could be a color, or it could be a shape, or it could be the texture of a surface, or it could be a feeling. And so really let yourself be curious what it is for you right now. And then just go ahead and say that, even though you may be in a room by yourself, just say that out loud. Because when you say it out loud, it also resonates through your whole body, through your voice, through your mind, your brain connecting up with your body and what you're aware of in your body right then, instead of being quiet about it. Let that sense of support come all the way through you. Open your mouth and just say it. It might be quietly, it might be a whisper, or it might be a statement, or it might be like, wow, yes, this is what I notice. and you want to call it out from the rooftops. I don't know. Whatever it is for you, let yourself express. Okay. Now you're going to bring your awareness all the way down your whole spine. Your spine's amazing. It goes from your head. The vertebrae connect all the way down past your waist. There's like a big flat part of your vertebrae called your sacrum. I was having a mental block there. Your sacrum. And then below your sacrum, there's actually it extends a little further. And there's a small bone right at the end of your vertebrae called the coccyx. And that's right between your legs. All right, so the size of the coccyx is about the size of half your fingernail. Okay, and with your awareness on that really small bone at the end of your vertebrae, you're going to invite that, and you're actually going to lift it up towards the heavens. Right, so you're just going to let your pelvis rock up. And you're not going to lift your buttocks off the floor. Your buttocks stay on the floor, but you're going to lift your sacrum up and then bring it back to neutral. Okay, and then lift it up again and back to neutral. And then do that movement a few times at your own pace, just rocking up and back to neutral. And notice, where do you feel that movement rippling to in your body? Can you notice that your lower back sinks into the support of the floor as your coccyx comes up? And if not, then slide one of your hands underneath your lower back so that you can really feel what's happening in your lower back as that coccyx just lifts up and goes back to neutral. Okay? Awesome. And take a breath and a pause. And now you're going to send that little coccyx all the way down to the earth. Okay, so it's kind of like if you were standing up, you'd be sticking your butt out. But when you're lying down, you send the coccyx down to the earth. You let your buttocks roll forward. And you'll notice as you do that, your lower back arches away from the floor. Okay, so you get an arch in your lower back. And do that movement several times. So you just send your coccyx down to the earth. And if you're not quite feeling what's happening in your lower back, again, just slide one of your hands underneath your lower back so you can really feel that movement, all that movement that's happening in your vertebrae in your lower back. Wonderful. Okay, stretch your legs out. Stretch your legs out. And gently roll your head from side to side. And notice, is there any difference between how your head's rolling now compared to how it was rolling earlier? Just being curious without judging. Do you feel more tension or pain, or does it feel easier and lighter? And whatever you feel, just notice. All right. And as you roll your head from side to side, what you're doing is you're kind of giving yourself a little acupressure treatment too. That big lump that's the bone at the back of your head, there's a whole lot of I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted by my dog in the background. And one of the things that I usually say at the beginning of this class is if there's any noise in the background, just kind of let it come through you. Don't try to resist it. Don't try to change it. Don't try to do anything. Just let it be there. So I'm going to invite you to just let any sound that's in your background just kind of come through you without resisting. That's just what's meant to be right now. And this little acupressure treatment you've been doing by rolling your head from side to side, that's all these points that are along the bottom of that protuberance that's at the back of your skull. All right? Changes your energy all through your whole body. Oh, that's a big gift. All right, so take a breath and notice what your breath's like right now. Notice what's happening with your breath right now. And has anything changed for you there? All right, send your awareness to your right knee, float it up to the heavens, and plant your right foot on the floor. And send your left knee to the heavens and plant your left foot on the floor. And again, take a moment to find your foundation in your feet. It may be different this time than it was last time because your whole body has actually started to change by doing this movement. All right, so take that moment to check in with your feet. All right. And now bringing your awareness back to your coccyx. You're going to link those two first movements together. So you send your coccyx up to the heavens and down to the earth. And up to the heavens and down to the earth. And do that movement several times at your own pace. And notice, where do you feel that movement rippling to in your body right now? And now I'm going to invite you to imagine that you're listening to a really great drum beat that's just like do 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 do. So it's fast. And you're going to send your coccyx up to the heavens and down to the earth, and up to the heavens and down to the earth. Boom, 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 boom. Really quickly. Okay? Do, 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 do. And as you do that, you kind of let go of having to control the movement in your body. You're just going to let that coccyx move. All right? And as you let your coccyx move, you'll notice, or you may or may not notice, but the ripple generally goes a little bit further up your spine. Okay? And just notice if you're aware of that or not. Again, no, without judgment. Okay, and let that movement come to a close. And take a breath. And gently roll your head from side to side. And again, just any word that comes to you right now, any awareness. It might be something physical, might be something that you're feeling. It may be an image that you're seeing or a sound that you're hearing from inside of you. Whatever that is, take a breath into it. And if you can name it, go ahead, put a word or more to what that is that you're noticing. And let your head movement come to a close. And then gently bring your hands together again in front of your chest in the prayer position. And again, you're going to just rub them together. That just wakes up the nerve endings on your hands and makes your mind more aware of them. Right? And then just let one hand rest on your heart and the other hand rest on your belly. And notice that as you breathe, either one or both hands will rise on your inhale and fall on the exhale. And know that as you're breathing, you're alive. Because if you weren't breathing, you wouldn't be alive. So let's say you're alive. Yeah. And say hello to that. Say hello to yourself. In there. It may be louder in your heart space, maybe louder in your belly. And no judgment as to what it is that you're noticing is positive or negative. Just like, wow, there it is, there I am. Okay, because at these times there may be a lot of emotions that come up. And whatever the emotion is, if it is emotion, then let it come up. It's great, fabulous. All the emotions are amazing. And if it's something physical, then say hello to that. Maybe something that feels absolutely wonderful, warm, supportive. Or it may be something that feels really sharp and painful. And let yourself bring your mind's eye to whatever that is. And if it's something that you want to expand and let's say expand. Just go ahead and breathe into it. And as you inhale, let that sensation or feeling expand. And if there's anything that you need to express right now, just let your mouth open and let whatever needs to come out, come out. All right. And notice that anything you want to let go of right now, you can open your mouth and you can let it go. You can even let it go just with an out breath. And letting go of whatever's in there that you're holding on to that may be causing you anxiety or keeping you awake at night, you can let go of that. And then there's more space inside of you for other things. All right, so exhale anything that's making you anxious or unsettled. And then as you inhale into where in your body you may feel settled or supported right now. It may be where you're contacting the floor. It may be where you notice your hands are contacting you. Maybe something else inside of you or something outside of you. Just notice what it is that kind of goes, oh, yeah, that's right. That's there. And let that settle in. All right. So we're going to end the movement sequence with the butterfly because butterflies are beautiful and light and full of color, and they move and they settle. They do both. And that's kind of what happens for people when they're anxious. They move and then they settle, and they move and they settle. And so having a butterfly with you through this could be lovely, especially when you can bring it into your body and feel that the movements are really amazing, actually. So the movement is that you bring your knees up towards your chest. And as you bring your knees up towards your chest, you let your right hand make contact with your right knee and your left hand make contact with your left knee. Kind of with your hands on the outside of your knee and then your fingers wrapping around the top of the knee. And when you do this movement, you don't need to do such a big movement that your feet go all the way down and touch the floor. You can just send your feet in a direction. And so anyway, I will describe the movement and then you can see how it goes. So start by your knees and your feet are together with your hands on the top of your knees. And then imagine that your legs are like the wings of a butterfly. So your feet stay together and your knees open up. And you keep your hands hugging the outside of your knees. And so your knees open up to the sides and then come in together in the center. And then they open up to the sides and they come into the center. And with your knees up towards your chest and your hands and your arms holding your knees, your feet are off the floor but they're together. Your hands are on the outside of your legs. And you just bring your knees together and apart so that they're opening and closing like the wings of a butterfly. And breathe. All right, so bring your knees together and keeping your hands making contact with your knees. You're not going to let go of your knees. You're going to send your feet towards the floor, just towards the floor. And then open the wings of the butterfly and then bring them back up all the way towards your chest, up towards your chest. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Bring the wings together and then send them down towards the floor, just a little. Then open the wings. Let them come up towards your chest in a big circle and then back together again. And then knees back together, feet together, down towards the floor. So you're doing a big circle with those wings. And letting your legs do the work and your hands following along as support, but not doing the movement. Okay, now we're going to reverse the circle. So with your knees together and your feet together, bring your knees towards your chest and then open the wings and then send your feet down towards the floor, your knees together up towards your chest. Open your knees back towards the floor, and that's the other big circle. Okay, wonderful. That's the butterfly wings. So let all of that go. Stretch your legs out onto the floor. Put your arms and your hands back down by your sides. And just go ahead and do a check-in with yourself again. You might roll your head from side to side and see what you notice now. Notice how your body's supported by the floor now compared to when you started the exercise. And if there's a word or an image or a sensation that's coming to you, just notice that. All right. So you're going to start to bring your awareness back to your surroundings in the room by kind of wiggling your toes and your fingers. Give them a little wiggle. And notice your breath too. All right. there's generally a sequence that I lead people through to come back from the floor to sitting and then standing. All right, so what I'd like you to do is just imagine how you can easily move to sitting. And when you've imagined that, move from lying down to sitting. And if you can sit on the floor cross-legged or with your legs out to the side or your knees bent, whatever is comfortable for you. Sit in a way that is comfortable for you and notice that the floor still supports you even in this position. Okay, and notice your spine coming straight up from your pelvis and all the way up to your head and neck, and that your head can just kind of float at the top of your spine. And your shoulders can rest on your rib cage. All right. And take a few breaths here, letting yourself settle in. Like a butterfly, you can touch down here in this position too. And now you're going to imagine how you can move to standing easily. What would be an easy way for you to move to standing? And once you've imagined that, let yourself move to standing. And when you're standing, feel the support of the earth below your feet. You really let yourself settle into your feet. And as you stand on your feet, feel that support come all the way up through your legs, your pelvis, your torso, all the way up the top of your head, and just let your head kind of rest at the top of your spine lightly. And notice that you're still breathing, even when you're standing up. Yeah. Take your hands and rub them together. And take your right hand and wrap it around your left shoulder. And take your left hand and wrap it around your left shoulder. And give yourself a nice warm hug. All right. If you're going on with your day, I hope you have a wonderful day, and whatever came to your awareness through this class that helps you feel more settled and supported and easeful, just if it's a word or a movement, make note of that. If you're going to bed and you're going to sleep, again, just bring your mind and your body back to that which settles you into yourself. If you have any questions or comments, I certainly welcome them. You can contact me at gilly@workingwithwellness.ca. That's my email address. Or you can make a comment on Instagram, working_with_wellness, or on my Facebook page, which is Working with Wellness. And thanks for joining me. If you'd like to make a donation, you can find that on my Facebook page or my Instagram handle under the bio. Or if you share this, if you found it helpful, if you pass it forward to a friend or a relative that you think this might help. All right, take good care of yourself, and I'll be back on in 2 days from now. Ciao for now.